that the men that use it, they're really putting it to themselves. You know, and when I would demonstrate it, I would say, all you do is put it and pull it. Because then everything goes in there and you can't miss. But I thought, you know what, I got to come up with another idea because the handle is coming apart. So I decided to incorporate the handle into our. So this was my new pattern. Of course, you have the bottom. But this, I just loved it because it was like sleek, you know, much more stylish. Don't you think? Wait, I don't have a picture of that one, but this one had a bigger reservoir, so it was like hunky clunky. You couldn't put it in a suitcase to take it on your vacation. But this still does the trick, but it is more aesthetically pleasing, wouldn't you think? Plus, the handle's not going to break off, you know, and leave you in a bind until I can get another one made for you. So that's the process of inventing something, modifying it. And I also decided if big boys have a problem, so do little ones. So think about, anybody ever work pediatrics? You know, how many times would you have killed to have a urinal that they could use with one hand? I mean, that's a lot easier to teach than yeah, it's like, okay, you have to hold this, and then you got to, you know, whatever. So that's that. So the patent process, it's kind of been a nightmare. It really has. So the VA decided in 2011 that they owned this device, which is great with me. I used their materials, I did it on their time, I used a veteran, so that was okay. But you know what the real beauty is? They pay for everything. They pay for the patent attorney. They pay for the marketing firm. They pay for it all. After you convince them, this is really an awesome device, which wasn't easy, wasn't hard to do. In fact, the gentleman that was my first patent, you know, liaison, his dad had Parkinson's disease. So he really understood how important that this could be. So they took it. I developed the new product design in 2015, and the patent process continues today. So there's the new device. I have a glossy picture of that. So I went to my mom's. I wasn't even sure I was going to go to the contest. But I went to my mom's one weekend, and I said, Mom, I have to make a urinal. And so I spent that weekend, why don't I have that? I'm sorry. Oh, it's probably in this folder. Yeah, 8x10 glossies. There it is. So, in order to make this picture, I sat on a chair and I held my urinal up to myself, and she made me into an overweight man. Now, this guy is not nearly as big as the 478-pound man. But you can kind of get the picture. It has a lot of color, too. So there he is right up there. So, any questions? What am I going to do at the time? Because I have another part of the story that you really find humorous. So, you know, you go through the patent process, and why don't they have a clock up there?
Doing well. It's 1:35.
Oh, I'm doing well. Okay, thank you. It's up to the patent examiner to sort of take apart your idea and say, oh, it's been done before. Anybody skilled in the art of what? You look at every urinal out there, and the handle goes down. This is the only one that goes up. Why is that not unique enough? Well, you didn't draw all the layers, and you know, it's like, what, really? So it's been this process where we send a rebuttal, and then they come up with other products that they say anybody skilled in the art would know how to make this product. One of them, my favorite, was a tree stand urinal. A tree stand urinal is a funnel screwed to a tree, attached to a hose, which goes down the tree and is buried in the ground. So, of course, the deer don't smell urine. like, my guy couldn't even climb a tree. There's no equipment in the world that can get him in a tree. But you know what? It was a urinal. So they said, no, you can't have a patent on this because, after all, that's a urinal. So, or they said, one of them was a cup. And I'm thinking, well, I suppose you could pee in a cup. But you know what? He can't reach it. So it wouldn't work for him. Well, the reason that they put that in there was because it had layers. And the patent attorney added, like, all these different weird layers of things. I just said, it's inherently weighted. But he went on with these layers of this, and anyway, so they were like trying to find things with layers. Well, they find, well, yeah, he decided that we needed to be so specific so that nobody would come along after and come up with a different combination of plastics. Well, I didn't know anything about plastics. All I knew was that I used the tools that I had available, and so, but one of my favorite ones also was like a trach sucker. Yeah, it's like, wow, what does that mean? Oh, that's just it. They say, they pick one little thing out of it, and they say, well, anybody skilled in the art. A tube of lipstick. That was an interesting one. A tube of lipstick. And I mean, cross my heart. But each one of those things was supposed to contribute to a urinal. So the patent process is not easy. But we probably shouldn't have gone for a utility patent. So now the strategy is to go for a design patent, which should be easier. I mean, obviously, the design is clearly different than what's on the in the art. Yes, ma'am.
Did you have to do any case studies, or did they require you to do?
Nope. Nope. I presented it over the phone. Well, I think it probably helped that I took second place in an amateur inventors, and I had all kinds of patient populations that this would be life-changing. I mean, literally life-changing. I had a gentleman, this little old guy. He's in a wheelchair, so the nurses come and they transfer him to the toilet. And then they want to put something in his lap because he pees straight up. And he was like holding it down, like trying to get the urine to hit his hand to go back in the toilet. But then it went all over the floor. So the nurses and he were constantly at odds with each other about this problem. I gave him one of the urinals. Actually, he got this kind. But I gave him a urinal, and now he could urinate with no help. And the nurses were no longer upset because he wasn't peeing all over the floor. So it's been amazing to me how many different kinds of disabilities or challenges make that product so appropriate. But it started out with Mr. O. And every time I got a new design, I gave him one. And he still uses it. I mean, he still, he lost a lot of weight in the CLC, and he went home. He went home. So that's my presentation. Any questions? Nope. Okay. I don't know. I probably covered everything. There wouldn't be any questions.
Heather, and
yes,
the original one, how did you put the bottom also with the water? How do you glue it together?
It's sort of like, I buy the kind that sort of sticks to itself.
Oh, okay.
So when you get them both hot, and I test every one before I give it out. I put water in there and I set it on a paper towel and I watch for leaks.
Yeah.
But this one's just better with the incorporated handle. Yes, they're all water resistant. Oh, and the other thing is, I use materials that have an antibacterial additive. So that even helps with the length of the device, the smell. So anyway, yeah, I covered.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
How do you teach them to clean them? Like, to boil it?
No, you can't boil it because it'll. You can't even put it in the windshield.
Can you repeat the question for Lemon?
She said, how do you teach them to clean it? And I teach them bleach. Bleach. Because if you even set it in your dashboard in the summertime, it'll go. So you don't want to set it on a register or, because it will just. So anyway, bleach is the best thing to use.
How much does it cost
cheaper?
Well, right now it costs about $25 and 30 minutes of my time. I mean, I've got it down to 30 minutes. Actually, probably quicker. I think my last two were quicker. But it's very expensive. So what I've been